All right, so get ready because we're diving deep into something pretty interesting today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the power of faith.
Okay.
But hold on, not the religious kind of faith.
Right.
We're talking about faith as a force, the kind that can turn your dreams, your big ideas, into cold, hard cash.
Interesting.
Our guide for this, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
A classic.
A classic for a reason.
Absolutely.
We're going right to chapter 3.
Okay.
That's where Hill gets into how faith is like the secret ingredient for success.
You know, we always hear about the power of belief.
Right.
But Hill really explains how that works. You know, it's not just wishing and hoping.
Yeah.
He says it's a mental state.
Oh, interesting.
And you actually have to build it like a muscle.
So it's not just about good vibes then?
No.
There's actual work involved?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He calls it auto-suggestion.
Auto-suggest.
And get this, he compares it to somebody, someone who, you know, at first they can't stand the thought of crime.
Right.
But then over time, through repeated exposure, they start to tolerate it.
Oh, wow.
And then eventually, well...
They become a criminal.
Yeah, they're living that life.
Wow.
And he's saying it's that same principle.
Oh,
To build up faith, you have to train your mind to believe your desires can be true.
That's a pretty intense comparison.
It is.
But it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you tell yourself you're going to fail over and over,
Right.
you're probably setting yourself up to fail, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like what you focus on just expands.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're constantly thinking about fear or what you don't have, well, guess what you're attracting?
More than that.
But if you focus on abundance and success,
Okay.
well, you just might be surprised by what you get.
So it's about flipping the script, changing your thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but Hill doesn't stop there.
No.
He says you got to add some emotion into
You gotta
it.
feel it. It can't just be in your head.
And he even has his big 3 emotions for this.
He does, yeah.
What are they?
Faith.
Okay, makes sense.
Love. All right.
Now get this, sex.
Wait, sex.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about money here, not, you know.
I know, it's a little eyebrow raising.
It is.
But, you know, Hill wrote this back in the 1930s.
Right.
So he's not talking about, you know, romance.
Okay.
He's talking about the raw energy,
Oh.
the drive that those types of emotions pack.
Oh, I see.
He's saying they can supercharge your desires.
So channeling primal energy, basically,
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
to get what you want.
Yeah, to fuel your goals. Pretty brilliant.
It is.
Even if it sounds a little out there.
Yeah, a little bit, but hey, it was the 1930s.
Different time.
Exactly. We could unpack that a bit later.
Maybe we should.
But for now, let's stick with how Hill uses these powerful emotions
Okay.
and gives us a real roadmap to build the kind of faith that can move mountains.
I like that.
He calls it his 5-step formula for self-confidence.
A 5-step formula. All right, lay it on me.
Okay, so first,
Yeah.
you got to write down your goals.
Okay.
Not just think about them.
Right.
Actually write them down.
Put pen to paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Second, visualize yourself
Visualize.
achieving those goals.
I like it.
Feel it, see it, own it.
Right.
And third, and this is the big one,
Okay.
you got to feed your mind positive affirmations.
Affirmations like
I am unstoppable or success is mine.
Got it.
Things like that.
So consistent action paired with a strong belief.
Exactly. Hill also talks about the importance of knowledge and having a plan.
Makes sense.
It's about taking massive action
Right.
and backing it up with that unshakable belief.
Yeah, like knowing you're on the right track.
Exactly. And speaking of taking action,
Oh, yeah?
have you heard the story of how U.S. Steel was born?
No, but I'd love to hear it.
It's a perfect example of Hill's principles.
All right, let's hear it.
So picture this. It's 1900.
Okay.
Charles M. Schwab.
Okay.
He was a leader in the steel industry, and he had this crazy vision for a steel corporation.
Oh, wow.
Something massive, like nothing the world had ever seen.
Okay.
He wanted to create the United States Steel Corporation.
Ambitious.
Very ambitious.
What happened?
Well, he ends up at this fancy dinner
Okay.
with all these big financial guys.
Like investors?
Yeah, the titans of the era.
Okay.
Even the legendary J.P. Morgan was there.
Wow, the J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that guy,
Yeah.
he wasn't easily impressed.
Right, so we've got a visionary, a guy with a big idea,
Yeah.
and a room full of skeptics.
With all the money.
Sounds like a movie.
It does.
So what happened?
Well, Schwab didn't just come in with some boring business plan.
Okay.
He gave this amazing speech.
Oh, wow.
painted a picture of the future.
Okay.
And it was all fueled by his belief.
In steel.
Yeah, and the power of steel to change the world.
Wow, so it wasn't just a sales pitch then.
No, not at all.
It was about belief.
Yeah, he invited them to believe in something revolutionary.
Interesting.
And here's the crazy part.
Okay.
J.P. Morgan.
Yeah?
The guy with the stone-cold demeanor.
Right.
He was totally captivated.
Really?
Yeah, they spent hours talking after dinner.
No way.
Oh yeah, going over every detail of Schwab's idea.
So it wasn't just the plan itself, but the conviction behind it.
You got it.
That's incredible.
Morgan saw the potential,
Yeah.
not just in the steel, but in Schwab's unwavering faith.
Wow, so it's like this extra something that makes people believe in you, in your vision.
Exactly.
And what happened with the negotiations?
They were fast.
Really?
Lightning fast.
Wow.
But get this, the final price tag.
Okay.
It included an extra $80 million.
What? Why?
Not for any tangible assets or anything.
Oh,
just for the perceived future value.
$80 million just for believing in the idea.
That's the power of belief in action.
That is mind-blowing.
It really shows how powerful faith can be.
To achieve those big, impossible goals.
It does, and this story highlights another point that Hill makes.
What's that?
Sometimes the perceived value of something
is
just as important as the actual value.
Interesting.
When you believe in something, others can feel it.
Right.
And it can turn into real results.
So it's not just about convincing yourself,
No.
but inspiring that belief in others.
Think about it.
Okay.
If Schwab had gone in there with, a shaky voice, a half-baked idea,
Right.
you think Morgan would have jumped on board?
Probably not.
No, he probably would have tossed him a nickel and said, get out of here.
Exactly.
But because Schwab had that unwavering belief,
Right.
he created a ripple effect. And that led to the creation of one of the biggest corporations in the world.
Wow, that's a pretty compelling argument.
It is.
For cultivating that inner belief.
Yeah.
But it also makes you think, if faith is so powerful, are there downsides?
Good question.
Could it be used for, let's say, less noble purposes?
That's a great question, and one we should definitely explore.
Yeah.
Hill focuses mostly on faith for success with money.
Okay.
But his principles can apply to anything, good or bad.
Oh, I see.
Think about charismatic leaders who use their belief to lead people down bad paths.
Right, so it's like a double-edged sword.
I guess you could say that.
You've got this amazing tool.
Yeah.
But you're responsible for using it the right way.
It's all about intention.
Intention.
Are you using it to create something positive?
Right.
Or are you driven by greed or selfishness or power?
So it comes back to checking your ego at the door.
Precisely. Making sure your actions line up with your values.
Okay.
And using your faith as a guide.
To live a better life.
To live a life with purpose.
Right.
And integrity.
Makes sense. So Schwab's vision for U.S. Steel.
Yeah.
It seemed like a good thing at the time.
Right.
Were there any unintended consequences?
Well, it definitely contributed to economic growth and innovation, but it also played a role in the rise of monopolies.
Monopolies.
Yeah, and the concentration of wealth in the hands of just a few people.
So even with good intentions,
right,
there can be unforeseen repercussions.
That's the thing about progress.
Yeah.
It's messy, it's complicated,
right,
and we have to constantly evaluate. Make sure we're moving in the right direction for everybody.
For the greater good.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that our actions have a ripple effect.
They do.
And we need to be mindful of that.
Absolutely.
Let's go back to Hill's idea of developing faith through practice.
Okay.
He talks about autosuggestion.
Right.
Constantly feeding your mind positive affirmations to build that belief in yourself and your goals.
It's like training for a marathon.
Oh, yeah.
You don't just wake up one day and run 26 miles.
Right.
It takes constant work.
And
And
a belief that you can do it.
So it's about taking control of your beliefs.
It is.
And actively shaping them.
Absolutely.
Not just hoping for the best.
It's about recognizing the power we have.
Okay.
To choose what we think.
Right.
And understanding that those thoughts shape our reality.
It sounds simple.
It is.
But powerful.
It is. And Hill breaks it down into a formula.
Oh, okay.
Write down your goals, visualize them, and affirm your belief in yourself.
A recipe for turning dreams into actions.
Exactly.
So what are some things we can do to, strengthen that faith muscle?
Well, one thing is gratitude.
Your gratitude.
Yeah. Take some time every day.
Okay.
To think about what you're grateful for, no matter how small.
Okay.
It shifts your focus.
Right.
From what you lack to what you have.
I see.
It creates a feeling of abundance and positivity.
So training your mind to see the good.
Exactly.
Even when things are tough.
Another good one is visualization.
It's visualization, okay.
Close your eyes. Imagine yourself achieving your goals.
Yeah.
Feel the emotions.
Feel it.
Experience the success.
Okay.
Like it's already happened.
I like it.
This puts those feelings in your subconscious, making them more likely to happen.
Creating a mental blueprint.
Exactly. And finally, don't forget affirmations.
Right. Affirmations.
Write down positive statements about yourself and your goals and repeat them.
Repeat them.
Regularly, especially when you have doubts.
So it's about replacing negative thoughts with empowering messages.
Exactly. It's about creating a good environment in your mind to nurture your faith and help you reach your goals.
Like giving your mind a motivational boost.
Exactly.
Reminding it of what it can really do.
You got it. It was like he was saying, come on, let's build the future together.
Powerful stuff.
And here's the wild part. You ready for this?
I'm listening.
Morgan. The guy, Mr. Stone Cold himself.
He was completely captivated.
No way.
Oh, yeah. They stayed up talking for hours after that dinner.
Really?
Just going over every detail, every possibility of this,
Of Schwab's plan.
of this steel empire.
Wow. So it wasn't just the plan, but the passion behind it.
Exactly. Morgan saw the potential not just in the steel itself, but in Schwab.
In his belief.
In his unshakable faith.
It's like that thing, that X factor that makes people want to follow you.
Exactly. And get this, the negotiations.
Yeah.
Super fast, like lightning.
Wow. So they were convinced.
They were all in, but here's the kicker.
There's more.
Oh, yeah, the final price tag.
Okay.
It included an extra $80 million.
Whoa. 80 million on top of everything else.
Yep, and not for anything you could touch or see.
What was it for them?
For the future value.
You mean the value that Schwab's vision created?
Exactly, just for the potential, the belief that this thing was going to be huge.
$80 million just for believing in an idea.
That's faith in action, my friend.
That is mind-blowing, seriously.
It really highlights how powerful faith can be.
For reaching those massive goals.
For achieving what seems impossible.
And it proves a point that Hill makes.
Which is?
That sometimes what people think something is worth.
Yeah, the perceived value.
Can be just as important as the actual value.
Sometimes even more important.
That's interesting. So when you really believe in something, other people can feel it.
They can sense it.
And that translates into tangible results.
Into dollars and cents.
So it's not just about convincing yourself then.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's about inspiring that belief in others.
Exactly. Imagine if Schwab had gone in there all nervous with a shaky voice and a half-baked plan.
Right. No confidence.
I think Morgan would have been impressed.
I doubt it.
No way. He probably would have just said, come back when you've got something real.
Exactly. But Schwab radiated this belief.
He did. He believed it with every fiber of his being.
And that created this ripple effect.
He did.
Leading to U.S. Steel.
One of the biggest corporations ever.
That's a pretty powerful argument for cultivating that inner faith.
It's essential.
But it also makes you wonder, right?
About what?
If faith is this powerful, this influential, could it be used for the wrong reasons?
Ah, that's the question, isn't it?
Could it be used for bad as easily as it can be used for good?
That's a great point, and it's something we should definitely talk about.
Yeah, because Hill focuses on using faith for success.
Financial success, mostly.
Right, but these principles could be applied to anything.
Oh, absolutely. For better or for worse.
Think about those, those charismatic leaders throughout history.
Who've led people down some pretty dark paths.
Exactly. So it's a double-edged sword.
It is. It can be a powerful force for good. Also for bad.
So how do we make sure we're using it the right way?
It comes down to intention.
Intention.
What are your motives?
Okay.
Are you trying to build something positive?
Yeah.
Or are you driven by greed or selfishness or a desire for power over others?
So basically, check your ego at the door.
Exactly. Make sure your actions align with your values.
Right.
And that you're using your faith for good.
To make a positive impact.
To contribute something meaningful to the world.
So Schwab's vision for U.S. Steel, it seemed like a win-win.
At the time, yeah.
But were there any, unintended consequences?
Well, it definitely helped the economy grow.
Okay.
And it led to a lot of innovation. But it also contributed to monopolies and to the concentration of wealth in the hands of just a few.
So even with good intentions,
Even with the best intentions,
things can go sideways.
that's the thing about progress. It's rarely a straight line.
It's messy, it's complicated.
Exactly. We have to constantly be evaluating,
Right, making sure we're on the right track.
for everyone, not just ourselves.
That's a good reminder that our actions have a ripple effect,
They do. Every action creates a reaction.
and we need to be mindful of that.
Absolutely. Our beliefs and actions impact the world around us.
Let's shift gears a bit. Go back to Hill's idea of developing faith
Okay.
through practice.
Yeah, he really stresses that.
He emphasizes autosuggestion
Right. Constantly feeding your mind those positive affirmations.
to build up that belief in yourself and your goals.
It's like, training for a marathon.
Okay.
You don't just decide to run 26 miles one day.
Right. It takes training.
It takes consistent effort, discipline, and the belief that you can do it.
So we're not just passively hoping for the best.
No, we're taking control.
We're shaping our beliefs.
We're choosing what we believe.
And Hill gives us a formula for that.
He does. It's simple but powerful.
What is it?
Write down your goals.
Okay.
Visualize achieving them.
Got it.
And affirm your belief in your ability to do it.
So we're taking those dreams
Those desires, those wishes,
and turning them into action.
turning them into reality
So what are some practical things we can do?
to strengthen our faith.
Yeah, to build up that faith muscle.
Well, one of the most powerful things is gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay.
Take a few minutes each day.
Yeah.
Think about what you're grateful for.
No matter how small.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be something huge.
Right.
It shifts your perspective
And what you lack.
to what you already have.
Okay.
It helps you feel abundant and positive.
So training your mind to focus on the good.
Even when things are tough.
Even amidst the chaos.
Another great one is visualization.
Visualization. I like that.
Close your eyes. Imagine yourself achieving your goals.
Feel it. See it. Experience it.
Exactly. Feel the emotions.
Like it's already happening.
That's it. You're imprinting those feelings in your subconscious.
Making them more likely to manifest.
Exactly. You're creating a mental blueprint for success.
I love that analogy.
And finally, don't forget affirmations.
Right. Affirmations.
Write down positive statements about yourself.
About yourself and my goals.
Yes, and repeat them regularly.
Especially when those doubts start creeping in.
Exactly, when you start to question yourself.
So it's about replacing that negative self-talk
With empowering messages.
with a positive mindset.
It's about creating an environment in your mind that nurtures your faith
That supports your growth.
and propels you toward your goals.
It's like giving yourself a pep talk, reminding yourself what you're capable of.
Yeah, exactly.
We've talked about a lot in this deep dive about how faith works, the potential problems, and how to actually build it up.
The practical steps.
But before we finish up, I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
A question that goes a little beyond what we've discussed.
All right, I'm intrigued.
If faith really is this force that shapes our reality, like Hill says, how does that fit with free will?
Interesting.
Do our beliefs kind of lock us into a certain path?
Okay.
Or can we choose to break free and create our own way?
That's where things get really fascinating.
Yeah.
Hill doesn't really talk about free will directly,
Okay.
but he definitely suggests that our thoughts and beliefs have a huge impact on what we experience.
So where do we draw the line then?
Right.
Is faith like a self-fulfilling prophecy?
I see what you're saying.
Or is it more about using that belief to break down barriers?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Philosophers have been debating this for centuries.
Right.
And I think ultimately it's a journey we all have to take ourselves.
So it's about looking inward.
Yeah, examining our own beliefs.
Challenging ourselves.
Pushing beyond what we think is possible.
I think it also comes down to understanding that faith isn't about just blindly accepting things.
No, it's about making a choice.
A choice to believe in something bigger than ourselves.
Even when we don't have all the answers.
Exactly. It's about trusting the process, even when things feel uncertain or difficult.
Remembering that our beliefs are powerful.
They are.
They can shape not just our own lives,
Right.
but the world around us.
As we wrap up this deep dive into the power of faith, I want to challenge you to think about something.
Okay.
What dream, what impossible dream are you ready to bring to life?
With a little bit of faith.
With that unwavering belief,
What mountains are you going to move?
what limits are you going to break?
Because, as Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve.
That's a great quote to end on. Until next time, Keep those minds curious
Keep those hearts open.
and keep believing in the power of your own potential.